serendipitous stories.
Finally diving in.
Right.
Yeah,
Sitting here with Bree Arns, and we have a story to share. We are on Wahine Toa, which is now our boat, for a few months. But I want to ask you, just like, what is serendipity for you, and how has it played an important part, or has it played an important part in your life?
It definitely has played an important part, and I think meeting you a few years ago, you've like put a name to the magic experiences that happen. But yeah, serendipitous means to me personally, just like when everything kind of aligns at a perfect timing. And you're kind of like reminded, like, this is where I'm supposed to be at this present time. So life just has like that magical way of like just gathering all the magic. I'm like, wow, like meeting a certain person that you wouldn't necessarily meet in like a strange place, you know, and just like boom, like, what, you're here too. Like, you're just at that right point in time in life to experience those things.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people say, oh, the world is small. And I feel like that dismisses a little bit of the magic, because the world is large. And for two people to occupy the same 6 or 10 feet in a moment and to share a conversation is really magical. So, and it's confirming, right? It's like confirming, like you were saying, like, you are where you're meant to be. This is good. It may not always be pretty, but you are right where you're meant to be for what is happening in your life. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
There's like this saying that I've like resonated a lot with over the years, and it's something of the sort of there's like no coincidences in life, and everything is just divine timing, and I really like that a lot.
Yeah. I feel that way. And, you know, when you're listening to your inner voice, when you're facing the fear and doing it anyway, when you take those risks and you take those leaps especially, and you just end up somewhere, and then something comes around and says, good job, you're right where you need to be. Like, you've done it. Yeah. Which kind of comes to this point right now, right?
Kind of does.
So 2 years ago, what month was it?
It was November.
Yep. Okay, so in November, which is just about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
because we're at October 31st.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, right? I was coming down the coast, and I had crew on before. He got on the boat in Ventura, I think, in Ventura, and he sailed with me to San Diego. And I had crew. Everything was good from San Diego on. I had a new crew shift. And in the last moments, we needed to do another crew shift. And reached out to Nick and said, hey, look, I'm in this bind now. I need another crew. What do you got? He says, let me think about it. Let me put a blast out. Nick is a captain, professional captain, and put a blast out. And he messaged me like an hour or so later and said, hey, can you meet for happy hour? I think I've got someone for you. So we met for happy hour. Now, where were you at in this moment in time in your world?
It was actually a weird, it ended up being a weird crossroad, because at that point in time I had interviews lined up for work, and I was about to set forth on this path of, you know, just kind of getting into that work grind again. And I was with Nick at the time, and he's like, hey, there's this opportunity, you can't let it go. And so I was juggling that in my own brain and like contemplating, like, oh, do I go and do this and just like miss out on the work opportunities, or miss out on an adventure of a lifetime? So it's just my general spirit that I'm going to choose the adventure. So I totally called the places that I had interviews with, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it. And ended up going with you within 24 hours.
Right, well, that's it, right? So I had attempted to leave San Diego, and the weather conditions were not what was forecast, so I turned right around. And that's when this one particular crew member, we realized that she wasn't going to jive. She wasn't up for the challenge of this. So, and literally by that afternoon, a couple things happened for me, which was perfect timing, but then we went for happy hour, and we're all just hanging out, having a little bit of nosh and a little bit of drink, and then we came on the boat, and one of the first things I did was lit some sage, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, all right, I'm going. It was like, this is.
It was home. Yeah. I was like, I'm with my people. I'm good. I'm safe. And that's important. Meeting strangers and about to go out at sea for 2 weeks at a time to a foreign country.
Right.
To feel safe.
And that was your kind of first offshore-y kind of experience.
Yes.
So a big leap. And as we were coming down the coast and everything was going great, I was just kind of mentioning the possibility of eventually having a little bit bigger of a boat, for some ideas that I have in mind for how I want to embark on my next journey and what I want to offer. And you just were like, so how much do you think you would sell her for? And I just kind of threw out a ballpark figure like this. Think you'd ever sell her to me? Sure. Why not? And again, like, selling her wasn't like at the front stage. Like, I just started on this big journey of coming to Mexico and cruising in the Sea of Cortez. But we had, there is that part of me, like, I see a lot of people that come down here and they have their boats for sale for years, and they're trying to get, their boat sold, and, it can be a little bit of a burden or a hassle to, like, be in that place of ready to let go, but not quite having the opportunity. And last year, Bree stepped forward and said, hey, I think I want to have a survey done. And
that just kind of, opened up more doors, and it definitely got the gears turning for taking on what it means to be a boat owner. And just getting the survey done was just like getting to know her just like that much more.
And so then we entered into negotiations, and we came up with the price that worked for the both of us. That was real supportive of my vision, because the other thing too is that this has been my home and my love for 6 years, and my first boat ever, and to have someone who loves her too, that makes the transition just so much more simplistic and so much more just like fluid. How can you say no? That was kind of how I came to this. It's like, how do I say no to this perfect alignment of everything I needed it to be to let go of this boat and to support someone that I've come to care about, and I'm so excited, to see her take this on. So here we are, the beautiful serendipitous, like, here we are, and we both had to say yes, and that was the beauty of it all, is just being able to say yes and step into it. And after these past days, it's like really solidified.
I know, right? It's like you gotta pinch yourself just a little bit, or like it comes in waves and it hits you, and just we're both in these like kind of like wrapped up emotions of like, it's happening.
Right. But again, it's like when it happens so effortless, like
effortlessly,
you might feel that hesitation in the background and the fear moving forward of like what it all means. But there is something so confirming again and supportive and nudging about the effortlessness of it.
You can't deny it.
You can't deny it. And this is when you just get to say, I trust, I believe, it's all going to be good. And that's what serendipitous is for me. Serendipity is just that moment of, all you got to do is say yes, show up and say yes, and you're right where you need to be.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, of course.